Bilt's July's rent day is fast approaching, and this would be something I would normally talk about on our live stream tomorrow night. But I definitely need you to be able to get ready for this because there's some excellent opportunities, and I don't want to wait until tomorrow night. So I wanted to bring you this video today and get this to you so that you're fully prepared for Bilt Rent Day. So let's not waste time and get started. As far as the agenda that we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the increased multipliers, which is always the foundation of Bilt Rent Day. Second, we're going to talk about games that we're able to play that are actually quite fun to make some additional build points. Third, we're going to talk about the SoulCycle ride and neighborhood dining promotions that are on Rent Day. And then we're going to jump into American Airlines, which we have some great transfer bonus opportunities as well as status match that we definitely need to discuss so that you're ready. And then last but definitely not least, I want to provide you a few examples of redemptions for those miles. Alaska miles have always been difficult to get because there hasn't been transfer partners of the major ones of American Express, Chase, City, or Capital One. But now we have Bilt that has that. And so I want to kind of provide a little bit of information for you on redemptions so that you can be ready to utilize these points that you work so hard to gain. So let's move into topic one. Multipliers are always going to be the foundation of Bilt because during the month they're rather mediocre. You got 3x on dining, 2x on travel, and then 1x on everything else. I myself do not normally use my bill card during the month, but when it comes to rent day, and because of how valuable those bill points normally are, that is where I'm fully prepared to pull the card out because we're going to get double the multipliers on rent day. Instead of 3x on dining, we're going to get 6x. Instead of 2x on travel, we get 4x. And then instead of 1x on everything else, we're going to get 2x. So I will pull out my bill card on rent day to pay for utilities, for car insurance, things that may not normally get great multipliers on with other credit cards. I am ready to pull the card out that day for that. Now, a few things to keep in mind. The multiplier in the rent day starts at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are out and about on June 30th and you cross into July 1st and you hit that 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can already start doing the double multipliers on dining if you're out. Two is that the maximum bonus points you can gain is up to 10,000 points, which is still plenty. Third, this is a great time where I mentioned as far as the 5 transaction minimum. I don't do my 5 transactions during the month. I do them all on rent day to be able to maximize the points and makes it very competitive. And then lastly, like I mentioned, maximize your rent day. So, for example, like I mentioned about utilities and your car insurance, if you can pay them on the first, get the 2x in build points instead of potentially 1x on something else you're doing. Two, plan your travel ahead of time. I set my travel flights and hotels normally on the first to be able to get the 4x on build points because we're all trying to plan further ahead to be able to maximize how we can utilize those points. So keep those things in mind because this is the foundation of Build Rent Day. Topic number two, there's a couple of games that are available for us to play. One is Point Quest, which is a fun quiz game that I've done definitely the last month or two. It is simply 5 questions that increase in points from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. If you answer all 5 of those correctly, you'll get a bonus sixth question, which is worth 100 points. And so if you get them all right, you've accumulated 250 build points. Now, while that may not be the biggest amount of points, it's still something to get some easy points and especially kind of work your mind a little bit. And so I find it enjoyable. Now, that'll be available on July 1. The second game is called the Rent Free Game Show, and it is a family feud based type of show that's pretty interesting. They always have a co host that is kind of internet famous or so. And so this time it is going to be for Brooke Beckham. So, so that'll be the person for the co host. But on this, The game actually started yesterday, but you just need to be able to play this game by 3 p.m. on July 1st. And the top 10 players will be that it will get revealed at 4 p.m. on the first, all become rent winners, where they'll get their rent paid up to a certain amount for that month. And then if you're part of the next, if you're not, if you don't win, and you're part of the next 600 people that scored highest, then you can be able to get some points, which is always nice. But it's a fun game for you to be able to try, and I definitely recommend it there to be done on the app. Now, as far as number three, we've got the Soul Cycle Rent Day promotion as well as neighborhood dining. Now, the Soul Cycle ride normally gets done with 50 plus Soul Cycle centers around the country. 45-minute ride for free. It's a full body indoor cycling class workout. Now, you can end up starting to book for that class starting at noon on June 30th, and it's a first come, first served basis. Now, one thing to keep in mind, one rider will end up winning a rent day um, bonus to be able to have their rent paid for. And so that is a nice little bonus, even if you're going to take the time to ride. Then we got to talk about the neighborhood dining program, which has been expanding. Now, on July 1, there'll be an all inclusive reservation that you can be able to do at top restaurants in their program. Now, the only unfortunate part is it's only in participating cities. And so the cities that they are listing is Austin, Boston, Brooklyn, Chicago, Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, Miami, New York, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. Now, these reservations are going to start at $75 and will it go from there. Now, as far as the access, you'll be able to start booking those as of the 27th at noon, which is going to be tomorrow. So at 20 on the 27th, and they do this in based upon your elite status. So platinum status with Build will be able to will have the first opportunity to book at noon Eastern Standard Time on the 27th. And then each 10 minutes, the next tier will be able to go. So at 12:10, it'll be gold, 12:20, it'll be silver, and then at 12:30, it will end up being the blue starter status to be able to do that. So if you're in one of those locations and have an interest in it, take a look at it and be able to take advantage of it if it is something that you might want to look at. And then let's jump into Alaska Airlines because there's a lot to talk about with them. Now, for as a reminder, Bilt really had kind of came out great when they got American Airlines. And American Airlines was someone that had not had a transfer partner relationship with any of the major credit card issuers, Amex, Chase, Citi, Wells Fargo. But Bilt had had them for a while, which unfortunately just ended. And American Airline points are very valuable because they're harder to get and they're pretty flexible. We have the same situation with Alaska. As soon as they ended up ending their partnership with American, they jumped right in with Alaska. And we had all been hoping that we were going to see a rent day that was focused on Alaska Airlines. Didn't know where it was going to come in, but we have that today. Well, on the first. So let's get ready for that. So the Alaska Airline transfer bonus is going to be, as I mentioned, the return of what we had seen with some great transfer bonuses on other airlines. So it's going to start on July 1st at midnight, and it will run through Tuesday, July 2nd at 2:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But don't test those that end time. Go ahead and make a move on it if you're interested. Now, the minimum transfer is 2,000 points if you are the blue base status. And anyone else from the silver, the gold, or platinum, there is no minimum. Now, as far as the maximum for everyone is 50,000 build points. But look at these transfer percentages. If you are blue base level status, you get a 25% transfer bonus. Silver, gets a 50% transfer bonus, gold 75%, and last but definitely not least, 100% transfer bonus if you're platinum. Now, even if you are in the blue, 25% is an outstanding transfer bonus. Now, keep in mind, on most airlines that we you end up seeing through transfer bonuses on the other different credit card issuers, you're normally looking at 10, 15, 20, 30. Maybe you might every now and again see a 40 that might come out. But in this case, for as valuable as Alaska Airline miles are compared to a lot of other airlines, this is a one that you definitely need to look at. So that is what we're looking at as far as transfer bonuses and the timing of it. Now, let's take a look at another part that they're doing, which is a status match. And so, as far as their status match, this is going to be between the 25th of June and July 1st. And for this one, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to transfer 10,000 of your Bilt points to Alaska Airlines to be able to see that you have now gotten elite status. And that's going to depend upon, but this is depend upon if you're gold or platinum. This is only for the Bilt Reward gold and platinum members. Now, that 10,000 points that you transfer does not qualify as part of the transfer bonus promotion. So the 10,000 points is just 10,000 points. So something to be able to look at that. Now that status match is going to be good through December 31st of 2024. Not a long time, but it's something to be able to get a feel of Alaska Airlines, and that's what we're getting with this. It's truly a full introduction to Alaska Airlines. Now, as far as I mentioned, the matches, if you have built gold, you'll qualify for Alaska MVP status. And if you're built platinum, you're going to get Alaska MVP gold status. So, as you can see, there's a lot that we're seeing with the Alaska Airlines program. This is the full introduction to all Bilt members to be able to see how you're going to be able to utilize them to get to your travel dreams, essentially. And I definitely am a fan of Alaska Airlines as far as their miles for transfer. And so that's why I wanted to be able to show you a few redemptions that you might want to keep in mind of what you could be able to accomplish with Alaska Airline miles. Now, they've recently changed their whole format. So now they are essentially distance based, as a lot of other airline programs are. And so, as a distance based airline program, of course, shorter haul trips are going to get you the best pricing, the best of award redemptions. So let's take a look at three examples that I wanted to provide you. Let's go ahead and get it over here. Here we go. So example one, short haul flights. Obviously because it's distance based. And this is going to be for ones that are essentially under 700 miles. But the nice twist to this applies to all of the Americas. So not just North America, we're talking about North, Central, and South America that this point value will qualify if you're traveling 700 or less miles. And that is for only 4,500 miles. Now, this was reduced and provided more, now provides us more value than before they did the change to their program when it was 7,500. Now, a couple of examples of where you can fly to for that only 4,500 miles, Alaska miles, Seattle to San Francisco, or Miami to Cancun, Mexico. Only 4,500 miles, outstanding value that you can be able to really get great redemption on. How about example number two, a little bit of a longer short haul flight. So 701 miles to 1,400 miles. In this particular case, this actually applies to not just Alaska Airlines, but it applies to their partner, American Airlines, as well. And this is for only 7,500 Alaska miles. So, where could you go for that amount of miles? Well, you could fly DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, to Mexico City for only 7,500 miles. You could also fly from Miami to Cartagena for only 7,500 miles. Once again, great redemptions in as we have gotten all the way to 1,400 miles. But here is one that I'm personally really interested in being able to do sometime sooner than later. Starlux business class. Starlux is a airline out of Taipei, Taiwan. And with Starlux, they fly nonstop from the West Coast, from LAX or San Francisco to Taiwan. And you can fly that business class for only 75,000 miles. The reviews I've seen of Starlux and the pictures of it are outstanding. It looks like a great flight. I've heard nothing but good things about their service and their food as well. So I wanted to provide you all some information on this rent day, not as far as the redemptions, but I wanted this to be one spot that you could be able to get everything you need to know to be able to maximize these promotions that are going on, as well as the points. So if you're so basically take a look at that and definitely check out other videos that I have on a complete review of the Bilt credit card in as from a non-renter standpoint of what it could be able to do for you as I am as a non-renter, as well as other videos that we have going on different credit cards and such that I think will be very beneficial. And you can even check out the live streams as the next live stream will be on for tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to give you all the news that you need for the week. And so with that, definitely check everything out. Thank you.